on it. Welcome to another episode of On Campus with JB and Sciggy. Another week, another 5 guests, because you know how we do. But first of all, always got to kick it to my man, Skig. How you doing this week, boss?
What's good, dog, man? We missed y'all last week. Glad to be back with you again this week, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, I missed it last week. I was like, bro, I feel like I ain't spoke to Skiggy in a minute. I swear to
Word,
God.
facts. That's what it
I was
feel like.
dang. So it's good. It's always good to see you and talk to you again. But this week we got a special guest, a dude I went to high school with, arguably one of the best stories in college football. You want to talk about getting out the mud? You really did. You guys are about to hear a fantastic story. You might not even have to hear us talk this whole conversation, to be honest. That's how good his story is. But we're joined by Illinois defensive back Tailon Leitzsey. What's up, good? What's good, my dude?
What's good? Appreciate y'all having me on.
For sure, gang. For sure. Appreciate you coming on, man.
I'm telling you, some people get Hollywood when you throw out the invites, man. Like, man, dude's like, man, I might hop on. Nah. You know what, man? If you might hop on, we on.
I had to. Look, J-Lo, I had to, bro.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Go back since 7th grade, man.
And that's probably a good place to start. So, like, Taylon, we knew. Well, I've known you since what? Your 7th grade year. So I was in what, 9th grade or 8th grade? Yeah. So you played on that D team with us, didn't you?
Yes.
You were one of the few 7th graders that played on that D team with us. And the funny thing about Taylon was Taylon played football that year, his 8th grade year, but he got to high school and decided he wanted to be a basketball player. So, and you know, I got to do it one time for everybody back in Greer. Taylon loves b-ball. That was that man IG name. And Skid, what I tell you,
my tip is do not make an Instagram in 7th grade, bro.
Bro. How you think I got the nickname Sciggy? Man, one of my homeboys told me I looked like my name was Sciggy. So I was like, man, bump it, I'm making my IG name, right? I made it my gram name, and it done stuck. People been calling me that since 8th grade, bro.
I'm telling you.
I guess you do look like a Skiggy, bro. Because you know, like when we were in high school, Instagram was like brand new. Like we were the first Instagram users. Like dudes' names was garbage. Like we just throw some stupid stuff on there. And his was Taylor loves b-ball, and like no one really thought anything of it until, of course, you know, Troy Pride Jr. went to high school with us. He was walking through the hallway one day and seeing Taylor and yell, "Taylor loves b-ball!" And from that point on, everybody would just do that if they ever seen him in the hallway. They just yell it out.
Oh, all the time. Look,
like even with
football, and they tell me, "Hey, we broke it down on you last night, bro." We be like, "Man,
oh God, we'll be in practice." Troy be like, "Taylor loves b-ball on 3. 1, 2, 3. Taylor loves b-ball." So it's like Taylor. That kind of explains why Taylor took the route that he did, because he ended up being like a late bloomer when it came to football, because like he turns his focus back towards basketball in high school. And I'll let you get into it, man. Talk about just your route into playing football, like how you grew up, why you chose to decide on being a college football player. Not to mention, Taylor took my jersey number after I left, man. That's good stuff.
You know what I'm saying? That was big, bro. You know what I'm saying? So definitely I had to rep number 5. You know what I mean? Put on. But yeah, bro. I actually started playing football when I was 3 years old. My dad played Division I college football, so it kind of got me into it. I wanted to play. Seeing him, I had an older brother that played as well. It was like, this is something I wanted to do, and then really played football that my whole life up until, like J-Bo said, I got to high school. And I was just burnt out. I was like, I ain't trying to do this no more. Quit. Coach Lewis, that was our coach at the school. Coach Wright always would come up to me and be like, "Hey, bro, you need to play." And I'm like, "Nah. Like I'm just playing basketball, running track. That was all I did." So that was 3 years of high school. Did that. Kept getting hurt in basketball, spraining my ankles and my back. And it was just like I got to my senior year. Or I was going into my senior year, and it was like I wanted to play college sports. I didn't have 0 offers because barely finished the basketball season. I didn't really take track super serious. It was like I would be out there running, but I'm running 11.3. Everybody else running 10 something. You know what I mean? Like you ain't getting no offer. So it was like they came up to me this time, and I was more receptive because now I'm looking for opportunity. So look, we got 2 weeks of spring ball left. You know, It's an hour and a half of your day. You in practice at 5 o'clock. Come out there, see if you like it. If you don't, we won't talk to you about it again. I was like, all right, whatever. So I go out there. Those 2 weeks, I was bored out my mind because we had pads on. They wouldn't let us hit. So I'm like, bro, like, I'm not going to play football. Get to the spring game. My boy Robert Mara actually turns the corner running the ball. First tackle, I come smack him. He fumbles the ball out of bounds. I got up. I was like, I'm playing football. And so like, from that point on, it was like I had that mindset. Like I was 3 years behind everybody, so I got to catch up. So it was like I just worked. Every opportunity, really. Like I get to practice early, work out, practice, stay after practice late, work out. Days off, I'll be up there working out. I start actually bringing some of the guys up there. I was like, look, if y'all trying to do something with this, like y'all don't want to have a losing season because our high school was terrible the year before I came. We was 0-12, and yeah. So I was like, I ain't trying to go out my senior year like that. So I know y'all not either. And so start bringing guys out there and we work out. Get to the season. Actually, back up a little. We had 707s. And I really ain't talk much just because I realized I'm a newcomer to the team. You know what I mean? Like you got to earn your respect. So we get to the 707s and we're playing, and I want to say we were playing some team down in Pickens. Feel like it was Pickens, and they had this receiver that was apparently top receiver in the state. I didn't know at the time, and we playing him, and I held him to 0 catches the whole game until the last play of the game because the game-winning touchdown. I was like crying. I'm like, bro, I gave up the game-winning touchdown. Coach Lewis came up. He's like, you just locked down number 1 receiver in the state. He was like, you gonna be straight. And so it was like after that, people was really starting to kind of respect me a little bit. And in terms of the school, you know what I mean? My name still don't nobody know who I am outside of that. So we have a season. I got hurt first game of the season, got a concussion. Came back in, played with the concussion. So I was out. Next week we play our rival. So that's the game I missed. Then we come playing. I played the next 3 games. I got player of the week my first game back, and then I get another concussion, so I'm out another game. So my season cut short. I really only played 8 out of the 10 games. So I'm like going to this last game of the season. I was like, bro, I'm about to just give it everything I got. So I was out there going crazy. Like if y'all see the film, you talk to anybody on the sideline, the coaches at halftime literally was like, what did you take before this game? I was like, nothing. Like, I don't know if I'm ever playing football again. Like, I got to have money and I'm going to be juiced up. And so balled out that game, and then went into the off season, really didn't talk to any coaches. Our coaches really didn't help us put our film out there. So I was doing it all myself. Got that. I'll take that back. He brought one team in there. It was a D3 team. Coach Smith brought a D team 3 in there. Or D3 team in there. And I looked at him. I was like, I appreciate your time. I'm not going D3 though. And he was like, all right, I mean, I respect that, but some people just don't get the opportunity. I was like, yeah, I appreciate it, but I'm better than that. So, didn't get anything. Here back for like 2 months. Get this NAIA school, Missouri Baptist University called me. They were like, we're really interested in you. We want to see your film, make a cut up of your coverages, and send that to us, and we'll get back to you. So I do all that. Don't hear from them for 2 months. So I'm like, man, like, I go into basketball season, I get hurt again in basketball. And I'm like, bro, like, I just ain't got no luck. Like, what's going on? So finish or almost at the end of my basketball season, they call me back and they're like, hey, we want to offer you a scholarship once you come out for a visit. So I'm like, all right, cool, we'll go out there. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This is the most experience I got with any of this. So me and my dad drive out there and go to school, see the campus. Super small, mind you. Our high school, even though it was 38 players on the football team, our high school had 1,800 kids in it. So I get there at this university, it's 800 people, and I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to go play here, but it's an opportunity, you know what I mean? And the coaches really liked me. The team, there was some guys I really gelled with. One of them was Keenan Savage. He actually played professional in Germany, so that was kind of like my big bro. We really connected, and he would talk to me a lot, just give me advice on how to get to the next level, things to do when you get to the next level, all type of stuff. So come back, they told me they'll be in contact with an offer. On the way back, they actually sent me my offer. So for that long period of time, I got that offer at the end of January. So now it's February, you know what I mean? National Signing Day coming up. I don't hear from nobody else. I'm putting my film out there. Nobody's reaching out. So I'm like, all right. At the time, I was trying to go to North Carolina A&T, so we went on a visit there. And I told my dad, because that's where he played. I was like, if I get the opportunity, even just to walk on here, I'm gonna go here. So I go in there, we meet the coach. Some of the people that actually coached my dad were there. So they set up the meeting, meet the coach, and he's like, hey, listen, send me your film. Either way, whether we like you or not, I'll call you on Monday. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I got this other school calling me like, hey, like, when you going to accept the offer? Are you going to let us know? I'm like, give me a second. I'm going to this other school. I'll give you a call back in about a week. So they're like, all right, cool. Go there, North Carolina A&T, and wait until Monday, and I don't get a call from the coach. So Tuesday, still don't get a call from the coach. And I was like, all right, Dad, I'm going to go ahead and accept the offer. And he was like, well, how come? And I was like, I don't feel like if North Carolina A&T is not going to follow through on their word when they said they'll call me, I know they're not going to give me an opportunity if I go try to walk on there. So he was like, all right. So I accept the offer. After I accept the offer, literally the next day, 4 schools called me. NGU was one of them, trying to offer me a full ride. I accepted, so it was too late at that point. So by the end of that process, I want to say it was about 22 D2 schools have reached out to me, and some JUCOs reached out to me, offering me to come play there. But by that point, I already accepted, So end up going out there to this NAIA school, and I'm working like same way I was working when I was in high school. Now I'm having to learn the playbook because 3 years of not playing high school football, you don't understand coverages. I was just out there playing football. You know what I mean? So talking about fire zones and cover 3, actually learning how to play cover 4 and stuff. I'm like, yo, what in the world? But go out there and I'm playing. Had a good first game. Sprained my MCL. Still was playing. Then the head coach found out I was thinking about transferring. So he benched me. And that really kind of shot my confidence because I was like, man, like, I can't get no film because you got me on the bench. And he literally came up to me and told me, he was like, at the end of the season, he was like, you think you can transfer when you ain't even play here? You couldn't start. So I was like, all right, come back in that spring. As soon as I come back, he saw me come back in the spring, he started me again. So that's how I knew it wasn't anything I was doing. It was more just trying to show me something. He was trying to kind of make me be whatever he wanted me to be. And so that spring, I ain't saying nothing to nobody, kept practicing. And I told him at the end of the spring, I was like, hey, listen, I need a little bit of more scholarship money to cover some of my expenses because where I was actually living, I lived 30 minutes away from the school, so I got to back up a little bit. I got to the school, and they told me I was going to have a full ride. Not the case. So I couldn't live on. I actually lived in Ferguson, Missouri, 30 minutes from the school. I actually lived in the hood. And first night there, my parents leave. I'm asleep. Mind you, my parents did a great job my whole life of trying to make sure that we wouldn't have to live in these kind of environments. But first night there, I'm hearing shootout down the street. I'm like, oh man, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? I've been here before, like go to my cousin's crib or hang out with my homeboys. This is the environment they live in. But I ain't never had to go to sleep in this. You know what I mean? So different. And that was my experience. So my whole first semester, that's where I lived. And being that far away from the school, you got to pay for gas, and St. Louis gas is expensive. So I actually had to get a job. So I was working a part-time job every night at Hollister, and we was getting paid minimum wage. And the money we was making was going to gas because it really didn't cover anything else but our gas. Like I literally would go days without eating while we were there. We'd be there. I'd go like 4 or 5 days without eating. So you can imagine how that changed your mindset. You know what I mean? Now you stop thinking like college athlete. You start thinking like some dude in the hood. Like, bro, literally there was times where I'll be sitting there with my 2 roommates and we like, bro, we got to rob somebody. And then sense of kick in. And that little bit of sense to kick in, like, nah, bro, like we can't jeopardize everything like that. You know what I mean? And it was just kind of like, those were the situations we were put in. And it was literally stuff like, bro, I'm talking about this stuff I can't even talk about for real that we went through on camera just because it was crazy, man. Like, but God really helped me get out that situation. He gave me an opportunity to move out of there. So I actually got the opportunity to move into a place closer to the school because one of my coaches was leaving. So he moved out. He was like a GA. He moved out, and I moved into his apartment. And it was the same rent that I was paying at the other crib. So that ended up helping out a lot too with getting me out of that environment and just put me closer to the school. And I was able to get connected with a few people that was really just helping me out, like blessing me a lot, bro. Like making sure I got meals every day, you know, whether it was dining hall, like I didn't have a meal plan because I didn't live on campus. So they be like, just come early. They let me get food for free. And then they give me something at the end of the day before I left so I could take it home. And then that was like that second half of that semester. So I leave and I come back home. Or before I leave, I tell the coach, look, I need more money on my scholarship. Before I sign anything, he was like, no, just sign it. You know, I'll go talk to the AD. I was like, no, I ain't signing nothing until I see the money. So he was like, all right, you know, I'll call you when I get that handle. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'll go home. I'm home and I'm just praying. I'm like, God, like I want to change my major. I want to do something different. I don't want to go back to that situation. And it really came to me like what I wanted to do. I wanted to study kinesiology. So I started looking at different schools, and Illinois was one of the best in the country that had a Division I football program. Growing up, I was a Michigan State fan, so I always wanted to play in the Big Ten. So it was like, for me, that was a no-brainer. Like, this is where I need to go. You know, I looked into Michigan State. Their kinesiology program wasn't that good. So I was like, all right, this is definitely where I need to go. So go on the website, find out I'm way past the deadline, the application deadline. So I'm like, all right, look, guy, if this is where I'm supposed to go, I need you to get me into school. And if
wait, hold on, Tailon. We got to inject at this point in the story because this part of the story is where I had caught up with Tailon for the first time in like years. So like, keep in mind when I was in high school, like I played with him my 8th grade year and his 7th grade year. But after that, I hadn't seen him play because he started playing basketball. It's like when I left high school is when he came back to play. It's like I hadn't seen him play football in years. I hadn't gotten to see any film or anything. It's like Taylor knows. I worked out at East Riverside Park, right up next to the street, next to our school. Like you can literally walk from our school to this park, and that's where I always do my drills and stuff. Like everybody ended up start coming to it because I started doing it after school and stuff. So Taylor was in town at one point. He's like, "Hey, cause I guess I posted like a story of us be at the park." And he was like, "Hey, let me know next time y'all out there." So we went out there one day, sitting there talking to him before you start putting your cleats on and stuff. We just start talking. He's like, I just left Missouri Baptist. I'm trying to transfer to Illinois." I said, "Illinois?" I said, "What?" I was like, "That's a big jump." And, like I'm looking at him physically though, and I'm like, he got the size, gained some weight, put on some muscle. I'm like, he is about 6 foot 6'1". I said, he do look the part. I said, I don't know what his scales look like, but I mean, he might make a case with his body type. So then we started doing some drills, and then our boy Robert Morrow was out there running routes for us and stuff. And I mean, bro, Taylor was strapping. I mean, he was straight snapping. I was like, bro, what's going on? I said, bro, he really might be able to walk on to Illinois for real. And I remember after that day, like we were sitting there talking, I was like, bro, I said, you really might be able to do it for real. Because after that day, I text everybody that like used to train with us at the parks. I was like, bro, y'all would not believe how good Taylon is now. Like, I swear to God, y'all would not believe it. They're like, for real? I said, yes, bro. Like, Taylon loves b-ball. He really got the straps for real. I said he got the feet and everything. And I was like, yeah, I said he could really do this. So that was when I noticed. I was like, okay, he really got a chance to play. Like, even if you didn't go to Illinois, I was like, bro, he can play Division I football. Like, that's for sure. I knew that for a fact. So I was like, nah, he'll definitely make team as a walk-in. I just remember talking to you about it that day, and I was like, man, shoot. I remember going home and praying. I was like, hey, God, let it work out for him. Because I remember you telling me some of that stuff about Missouri Baptist, how they was holding you and whatnot. So, you can continue.
Yeah, look, that conversation we had, too, really helped me personally because, like, I looked up to J-Bo so much. It was like, hearing that from him, like, you can do this, was like, for me, like, I was like, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody that went to the Division I level and played there that's, you know what I mean, that I look up to that's telling me I can do this. Like, I got this. You know what I mean? So that was another thing that really gave me confidence in my journey to be able to be like, no matter what anybody else said, like, your opinion don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. I know I can do this. You know what I mean? So that summer, I started reaching out to schools, and then I applied. And I was like, God, look, if you get me into school here and then get me on the football team and help me earn a scholarship, like those are 3 things I ask you. You know what I mean? So just if you can get me into school here, then I know the other 2 are gonna come. And so it was like I just felt like he was really like, I got you. So when I talked to my parents, I was like, look, I need y'all to help me take this loan out so I can get into school. And my dad looked at me and said, did you pray about it? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right, cool. So I applied, and I wasn't supposed to hear back for 2 weeks. I heard back the next day I was accepted. So I was like, all right, boom. Like, this is going to happen. mind you, this whole summer, I worked out with J-Bo. I was also working with a trainer out at Velocity named Kenny Watt, still talking to his big bro. And then I had 2 jobs. So I was literally working I get up at 6 a.m., work until 2:30 in the morning, and then go to sleep probably about 4, get up, start my day off again every time. So I was sleeping 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. And, bro, I was grinding for real. It was crazy. Still crazy to me to look back at. And then I started a clothing brand in that summer too. So it was really just insane, all the stuff that I was going through that summer. And it was like, mentally, it was like, I realized everything I went through in Missouri was preparing me, like building up my mental toughness for this moment, like to everything I was about to go through, you know what I mean? So I get into school and I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm calling the coaches every morning. I'm like, I got into school here, you know, so I know I'm good on that aspect of things. So I'm calling, emailing them every morning, but I'm still reaching out to all these other schools. I'm training. There's a coach that comes and watching me practice. His name was James Trapp. He actually played in the NFL. And he was like, look, I got you. You actually really good, so I'm going to make some calls for you. So I called James Madison University for me. And that coach was actually really interested in me. And I just really felt like God was telling me to come here. You know, like James Madison was like, look, we can't offer you right now, but you come up here and you have a good fall camp. Like, we'll definitely give you a full ride. But I was like, I just, you know, like I appreciate it, but I really feel like God's telling me to come here. So I ended up telling my parents like 2 weeks before I left. I'm like, look, I'm leaving this date. It was like July. I want to say it was mid-July. I can't remember the exact date. But I left, drove to St. Louis, packed up my apartment, and then left and drove to Illinois. So all my stuff in my car. I get to Illinois. I have no place to stay. Like, I don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I booked the Airbnb for one day at the time, just to make my parents feel good. It was like, oh, you know where you're gonna stay? Yeah, I got this Airbnb. I had that from the summer, you know, but I had an Airbnb for a day at the time, so booked the Airbnb and I go there. I didn't even go there first actually, because I got there middle of the day. I drove straight around campus looking for the football facility. So I go to the AD's like building where they have like all the administrative assistants and stuff in there, and I'm like, hey, where's the football coach's offices? They're like, oh, it's not attached here. It's actually attached to the stadium. So I'm like, all right, cool. Go over there, park. I'm walking down this alley. I see a janitor. I'm like, hey, where's the football coach's office? He's like, I'll take you there. So he walks me down there. He unlocks the door. So I ain't even supposed to get into the building. That's how God just setting everything up. Because I walked to the door. I ain't supposed to get in the building. He unlocks the door for me. I walk up in the office and I'm standing there. And there was a lady on the phone at the desk, and she's like, give me 1 second. So I'm standing there. I see how the coaches looking. They're like peeking out their door, like, who is this? So I'm like, she gets off the phone. She's like, how can I help you? I was like, my name's Tailon Leitzsey. She's like, oh, you've been calling all summer. So
they answer the phone.
You're listening to my voicemail, so you know who I am. And she was like, yeah, Donnie Abraham's over there. You know, if you want to go talk to him. I was like, all right, cool. So I go over there. I just really introduced myself, tell him I was like, I'm just looking for opportunity to come play. I wanted to know when tryouts were. And he's kind of like, I don't know. I can't help you on that. I'm like, all right, well, is there somebody you can connect me with that can? And he was like, yeah, I can see. You know, I'll make a call for you, see. But they're not here right now, so you have to wait. I'm like, shoot, I drove 16 and a half hours. I'm finna wait. So I went and sat down. And, that I could tell it was kind of like one of them things. He was trying to brush it off, but then he keeps looking at the office. I'm still sitting there. So eventually the guy comes and he's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, what's up? My name's Tailon Leitzsey. You know, I'm trying to get an opportunity to come play here. You know, I just want another tryout dates. And he's like, well, mind you, I didn't know when camp starts. So camp starts August 3rd. And he's like, well, you can't you can't come to practice or anything until August 27th. I'm like, okay, but I'm here now. So I don't have nowhere to stay in this time being. You know, like all I'm asking is the opportunity to be able to work out and try out for the team. Like that's it. Like, is there a way I can at least come to practice and just watch? And he was like, nah. And I'm like, so there's no way I come to practice. Like, I'm not even asking to be on the field. Like, just come to practice and watch. He's like, nah, there's no way, no shot. So I'm like, bro, what in the world? So I'm like, I go downstairs and I'm just like, God, like, why you really bring me here? Did you really tell me to come here, or is this just me? You know, like, me thinking this is what I wanted to do, and you ain't really telling me to come. And I could hear him just like in the back of my head, like, son, trust me. So call my trainer, and I'm telling him what happened. He's like, bro, if you don't go back up in that office, so in my head, I'm like, you right, bro. Let me go back. So I go back up in the office. I'm like, look, now all the coaches standing in the office. I'm like, look, yo, I done drove 16 and a half hours. I'm not leaving. Like, all I'm asking for is opportunity. Like, that's it. All I want is opportunity. And right at that moment, like, I started doubting myself. I'm like, God, I really might have messed up, like, coming here. And right at that moment, this man walks through the door. His name's Trey Stalling. And at the same time, a verse pops up on my phone. Mark 11:24. Therefore, I tell you, believe that you received it and it will be yours. Like, right at the moment, can't make this up. So I look at my phone, I read this. This man walks in the door. He's like, what's going on? And they're like, hey, go talk to him. So, like, all right, man, y'all keep sending me doing this runaround stuff. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Let's go talk. So I go talk to him. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, Tailon Leitzsey. And I'm telling him everything I told everybody else. And he's like, okay. He's like, stand up. He's like, all right, you got a good size on you. He's like, how fast are you? And I was like, I ran a 4.4. I was like 4.46 last time I ran one. He's like, okay. He's like, you ran track? I was like, yes, sir. He's like, you got some tape? I was like, yes, sir. So I pull it out, let him see it. And he's watching. He's like, okay, you pretty good. He was like, I'm assuming. He's like, you look like you've been working out, so I'm assuming you've been working out also. Probably better than you were then. I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, okay. So I'm going to just tell you, we ain't got no walk-ons that look like you. He's like, nah, I can't guarantee you that's going to mean you're going to make the team, because he's like, you come try it and be dirt. He's like, I don't know. But we ain't got no walk-ons that look like you. So he's like, with that being said, come to practice every day. He's like, if somebody tell you to leave, tell them I told you to be there. I was like, yes, sir. So he was like, where you transferred from? And I told him I was at Missouri Baptist. And one of my homeboys actually had just transferred there, but I had got a new phone, so I didn't have his number. So he was like, all right, here, take his number down. And he was like, give him a call if you know what I mean, like, need to find somewhere to stay. So I'm like, all right, cool. So at me being prideful, I ain't hit him up yet, because I'm like, man, I ain't trying to put that burden on nobody. So for a little while, that's where I was sleeping in my car. I was staying at this Airbnb when I could, like, 'cause it was really just trying to be smart with my money, because I don't have no kitchen or anything, so you gotta have food and stuff too.
Yeah.
So I was trying to keep all that stuff in account, and it was like I probably slept in my car, like, I know it was at least 8 days, sleeping in different parking lots, trying to make sure, you know what I mean, I wouldn't break no laws and stuff. So I stayed at the Airbnb. When I did book the Airbnb, I stayed there ended up staying there for 3 nights. And it was 3 nights before I moved in with my boy, because I finally texted him. He's like, yeah, bro, like, it ain't a problem. I don't need nothing from you. And I was like, all right, bet. So staying in this Airbnb, and I actually met the owner. And so he didn't charge me for the last 2 nights. He let me work for the last 2 nights. So essentially, I was like helping him install doors, sweeping up the place, wiping tables in the building and stuff like that. And that's what he let me do. And he gave me 2 more nights for free. So that was kind of like my introduction into getting to Illinois. And then it was just crazy, bro. Like, camp starts. I got up 5 a.m. They started practice at 7. I go to a field outside of where they practice, and I work out. And then when they pulled up, I walked over and watched them practice. I did that literally every single day. And it was crazy to me to find out that practice was open practice, so the public was out there watching. So the coaches really just didn't want me to be there. It wasn't that, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was asking him for opportunity, I'm like, can I watch practice? He was like, no, but it was open practices, and I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Like, anybody could came and watch. So that was like, for me, it kind of put a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, all right, I really got something to prove, you know, because there's, for some reason, that y'all gonna fight me at every step of this. Like, you don't want me to be there. So there was a couple of other people that were preferred walk-ons that were watching practice with me. And there was a few practices where they had closed practices, so the public couldn't be there. But these 2 guys were. The coaches let them in. And when Trey Stallings asked them about me, they were like, no, he can't come. So I was like, all right, bet. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna show them. You know what I mean? So school starts. They play their first couple games. I went to the first 3 games. One of them was in Chicago. The other 2 were home games. I went to both of them, or all 3 of them. I'm watching the team play. I'm like, man, I just can't wait. Like, I can't even explain it, bro. I felt like a little kid for real. Like, when you go to your first NFL game, or you get that first, you know what I mean, like, opportunity of really playing football and just like getting them jitters. That's how I was feeling. And We had the tryout September 6th. And I remember I got there like an hour and a half early. And I'm listening to my music, working out, warming up beforehand. And then all these people coming, ended up being about like 80 people that came to the tryout. And I ain't talking to not a single person. Because I was just like, I knew what I was there for, you know. We tried out. We did the trials. We ran the 40, did some agility stuff, did some conditioning stuff. Then they were like, all the coaches were talking to me after. They were like, hey, like, you looked really good today. And I was like,
stop playing with me.
Man, you feel me? And so I was like, appreciate it. And then I got my stuff and I left. And when I was leaving, Trey looked at me. He just nodded. And I was like, all right, you know, that for me, that was kind of confirmation. I was like, all right, I'm good. You know, so they didn't call for like the next week. And they called me and they're like, hey, you made the team. Come up to the facility and come get fitted for the helmet and everything. So I go through that whole process. And it was like, bro, I'm in the locker room, you know what I'm saying? First off, our locker room was just like, it was worse than our high school locker room, for real, J-Bo. Like, the locker room, it was wooden lockers. It was stunk really bad. It had these old leather couches in there. There used to be a player's lounge in the back, but it was really just a junk room. Was a bunch of junk back there. But I could care less, bro. I'm on a Division I football team, you know what I'm saying? So right. I'm like geek, and those next, like, for me, that was when everything really kind of, like, people think the hard part was getting on the team. Like, for me, that was the easiest. Now that I was on the team, the hard part was earning that respect and getting that opportunity to play. Now, you know what I mean? Like, in my eyes, I knew I was gonna make the team. So it was getting on the field. That's where it was like, man, earning that scholarship. Where it was like, that was the hardest part for me. So that was a 3-year process of like working out every day, being the first one there, last one to leave, still not getting the opportunity and looking like. There's literally days I'm like getting my body beat up because I was on scout team. When you're on scout team, you take every rep. I was on every single special teams. I take every rep on defense because we ain't had no subs. When we go to individual period where it's just the DBs working out, they have me being a tackling dummy. I might get some reps sometimes. I'm running routes for the guys. I'm like, bro, like my body hurt and everything. You know what I mean? But like mentally, it was just, I believed, like I truly believed, and it probably sounds crazy, but I just had that kind of faith. Like, God, you told me that these 3 things was going to happen. And you already gave me the first 2, so the third on the way. So it was like just staying down and staying grounded in that, and then remembering why I play football, you know what I mean? Like, I play football because I love the game, obviously, but like, I really play football for a platform because I want to be able to have that platform where I can impact somebody else's life because they already look up to me, so I can impact you in a positive manner now, where I can help change your situation, whether that's something I say, whether that's being able to give you something financially to help you change your situation, or teach you something financially to help you change the situation, whatever that be, you know what I mean, just to be able to help somebody. And so it was like that process for me was like, it was so much I learned, and it was like God humbled me, but then he also taught me that being humble isn't being weak. Like, it's not allowing, being humble doesn't mean you have to allow people to walk over you and say whatever to you as either, you know what I mean? Because I went from being this person that, bro, ain't nobody finna step on me, to I take whatever. Like, I let the coaches talk crazy, you know what I mean? Like, there was times I wanted to fight some of the players and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't stand up for myself because I felt like if I stood up for myself, I was gonna get kicked off the team. You know what I mean? And it was like situations like that. And then it was just, bro, like this last year has really been where it was like God kind of started just giving me little stuff to see, like, look, I got you. Just keep your faith. You know, like, first game I traveled to was Michigan State. That's where I wanted to play. So the first away game I get to go to, you know what I mean? I'm having all these doubts. That's the first away game you take me to. Is the one, that stadium that I've always wanted to play in. You know what I mean? And then just little stuff like that, like being able to see, there was times where I was like literally right here, somebody get hurt, and I was right here from getting in the game, and it was just a reminder to me, like, you're close. You know what I mean? And I was like, bro, like, I'm gonna keep the faith, keep working. So this past season happened. We had the coaching change, as everybody knows, and I was really like, God, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna play. I don't know if I'm gonna transfer. Really don't know what I'm gonna do. He was like, look, trust me. Like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I got you. You keep saying that, but I ain't seen nothing, you know. So brings this coach in. Literally the first thing he says when he walks in is that my name is Brett Bielema. if you were here, whether you were walk on, scholarship player, whatever you are, whoever you are, I don't care. I'm not forcing you to leave. You can stay here. You will get an opportunity. I promise you, you will get an opportunity playing for me. And for me, I was like, all right, I ain't leaving. You know what I'm saying? And by this point, I done had a daughter. So my daughter at the time, because this was in December, so she's 2 or 3 months. Yeah, she was 2 months. So I had her at the meeting with me actually. And so my mindset, you know what I'm saying, I gotta make the best move for my family now. Because now it's not just about me. I got a family I gotta take care of. I got a mom, somebody I gotta provide for. So hearing him say that, and I'm just sitting here with my daughter, and I was like, all right, God, I hear you, you know. And so going into that winter, this whole coaching staff, it was like, for me, trusting people is hard. So like, I really was trying to learn who they were, you know what I mean, get to know them, and I could see they were doing the same for us. Like the defense coordinator, as soon as he got the job, called me, and he was like, "Hey, listen, my name is Ryan Walters. Like, I would love for us to, you know, talk, just get to know each other outside of football. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you want to get to know you as a football player, but outside of football." Then my DB coach, the corners coach, Aaron Henry, did the same thing, and for me, that was like, all right, that's different. You know, I ain't experienced that before. That's somebody that actually is like going out their way to care about you. So it was like, bro, the coaching staff really I vibed with them. You know, they was really good. And they're good to the team. You can see they're bringing a different culture. And going into the spring, they actually gave us opportunities. Like, literally, my DB coach, I remember he asked me, he was like, all right, what do you need from me? I was like, look, coach, I was like, all I need is an opportunity. Like, all I'm asking is that you give me a fair opportunity, that the same opportunity you get a scholarship players, you give me. And you coach me the same way. Like, don't treat me any different. None of that. I just asked for fair opportunity. He's like, got you. And man of his word, he gave me an opportunity, and I had to get sprained, and ended up getting put on scholarship. So you know, it's been great, bro. Like they're asking more of me now. You know what I mean? Obviously, they want me to step up and be a leader, and that's kind of something that I feel like is natural in me. But I'm also having to. I suppressed for so long because I felt like I was the walk on. I felt like I was the bottom of the totem pole, and I got told I was the bottom of the totem pole by the coaches. You know what I mean? Like they tell you, hey, know your place. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, for me, that was like, bro, I gotta build that back up. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's natural. I mean, I suppressed it so long, so now I'm having to kind of come back into that. You know what I mean? Like embrace it now. So it's kind of, bro, it's dope though. Like being a father definitely helps me with it as well. Like, because now I had to lead a household, so it's kind of like that. That's something that kind of is helping with my development as well. But bro, it's been a crazy journey, and it's definitely not over. So you know,
I think the wildest thing that happens is, you know, we watch ESPN and stuff all the time. It's like you always see all these stories about, oh, this walk-on got a scholarship, or on Twitter you see Bleacher Reports. And then, you know, it comes around that point in the summer where you start to see those walk-ons get their scholarship unveiling. They do it all kinds of different ways. And I just remember like scrolling through Twitter one day, I see Illinois recruit or Illinois DB gets a scholarship. I was like, wait, I said, hold on. I know dude. So I clicked on it, and it was you. And I just sat there. I couldn't believe like you were the one that was in the video. Like, not that I didn't do it. It's like, wow, you see these videos all the time, and like you see, like, man, I know exactly what this kid was like. Not everybody doesn't know your whole story, but like, dang, I know what this kid had to do to get there. That junk almost brought me to tears because I was like,
Yeah,
I can't believe like that really, like, you want to talk about won't he do it? Look at God, what God did. Like, you are a living testimony. Like no one can tell you anything about God. Oh, what do you believe in God and all this? Like, nah, bro. Like every step of the way, He spoke to you, even when you didn't hear Him. You looked at the signs. You looked for Him. You sought after God. You pursued Him, and He continued to help you throughout your journey. It's like, man, and throughout all of that, like, you got to, not only did you get a scholarship, but you became a better man. You became a father. Not because you became a father, because you can be a great father at the end of the day, and you could be a great leader of a team. That's why his coaches are like, we want you to be a leader, because they see that in you too. Like, they understand that. Like, there's no way someone has a story like you, and dudes not gonna respect that. Real recognizes real, and the best thing for me is like being on your Instagram and everything like that, seeing how your teammates respond to you. Because like I'm a guy, like of course I know like some of the bigger players in college football. I know some of the better players who are on that roster, like who are the guys that people would think are NFL prospects and stuff. And like they respond to you a certain way. The way they like post about you and stuff, I repost you. I'm like, okay, like he's got respect in that locker room from like some pretty high up guys. Like he really is a leader in that locker room, whether you knew it or not beforehand. Like you probably had dudes already looking up to you. Imagine all the other walk-ons that was like, man, him right there, that's the one. I want to do what he's doing. Like I'm trying to follow his footsteps. Like you might really just left a legacy in Champaign, Illinois, coming all the way from Greer, South Carolina to freaking Ferguson, Missouri, to Missouri Baptist, like driving back and forth 30 minutes to go to school. Like all that junk paid off at the end of the day. Like I just can't believe. Like look at what God would do for you when you really, really do trust him, man. That's
telling you, it's wild. Like the day that I got a scholarship, it didn't even feel real. Like if you see the video, like you'll see they like my boy Tony Adams that January we had talked about. And I was like, bro, I don't know because I had a $10,000 school bill going into the spring. I was like, bro, if I don't earn a scholarship this semester, I can't play football no more. Like I'm gonna have to drop out of school. And he was like, bro, it's gonna happen. And it was like when he said it, I was standing there and he just ran up and hugged me, bro. And I was like in shock. I'm just standing there, bro, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this really just happened. Like, I can't believe it. And he's like, bro, like, I told you, bro, like, you got this. God got you, bro. And I was just like, everything started running through my mind, bro. And I just broke down. It was like that night, the best sleep I ever got in my life, bro. And I was just straight. I slept like a baby. Woke up smiling. It was great night's sleep, you know. But
bro walked in financial aid and said, "Put it on their tab."
I'm telling you, so it was great, bro. And then our coach really did. He really was just a great dude. Like he made sure that he fought for us to get like retroactive scholarships, so it paid off that spring semester. It wasn't just like continuation. It paid off that spring, so I ain't had no bill. When I went to financial aid, they were like, "Hey, we actually about to refund you all this money." I said, "I appreciate it."
Oh, won't he do it? I'm telling you, you about to make me shout. Bro, oh God, when my mom listened to this episode, she would probably stand up and start shouting, praise dance. My mama, she would, because that right there, that's God. Oh my man, that's crazy.
Yeah, man, that about brought me to tears, bro. And I ain't even really no type of dude like that, bro.
Man, Skid, I know you got something to say, man.
Man, I'm just in awe, man. Like how resilient you were going through that. I don't know too many people that can deal with stuff like that, bro. Cause like, I mean, I would have been pissed off in Missouri and wanted to transfer off the rip. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, bro, you tough, dog.
Bro, you're the one. I promise you, you're the one.
Facts.
I swear you are. Because like in my mind, I'd be like, man, can I do that? I'm like, yeah, I could, but man, I wouldn't. I promise you, I wouldn't. I would not. Like, and like we're the type of dudes like, yeah, we cut for adversity, but it's like, do I have to do that? Like,
yeah,
really don't gotta like just like the way the coach is talking to you. Everything. Like, I really don't gotta have y'all talking to me crazy like this. Like, I'm a grown man first at the end of the day, and then look, God don't look. I don't wish people losing their jobs, but God don't like ugly. Them dudes gone, and you still survive. So who's still in Illinois now? I mean, I'm just saying they spent all that time trying to give you the runaround. Man, hey, shout out to what's he say his name was? Trey Stallings.
Yeah,
Trey Stallings. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you, man.
He lit for sure.
Look, I had to tell him thank you when I got it, but I was like, bro, I was trying to find his number. He actually texted me. He's like, congrats. I was like, man, I was looking for your number. Thank you for texting me. I appreciate you so much. Like, he don't even know, like, what that really did for me. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew part of it, but he didn't know the whole story. You know what I mean? So it was like this man just felt on his heart to take a chance on me. You know what I'm saying? And changed my life for real. So definitely shout out to him.
It's even the little things.
I stay with him for free, too. Bro, like, definitely would have still been in my car. You know?
Yeah, like it's the little things about the story too. Like even from just the janitor saying, "Oh, like you catching the janitor at the right time for him to take you into the office that nobody can get into at the end of the day." Like that's God. My mom would literally say, "Man, you might have been talking to an angel right there."
Yeah, facts. Facts. That's what my mama would say.
All the time, I ain't never seen that janitor again, so it might have been.
Yeah, for real though. No
hey,
cap.
Hey, that man ain't nowhere to be found. But he opened that door.
He was born to unlock that door.
For real, man. I don't know where he at, but I hope he ain't cleaning up nobody's stalls or nothing no more.
Yeah,
God bless him, bro.
I hope God bless that man for sure, bro.
It's like that's amazing that for you can obviously go more into like the impact of having your daughter, but like you having a daughter doing all this and all this time, like I'm sure you had nights where you just doubted everything about what you were doing. Like, am I really sacrificing her life chasing the football or whatever? You know, like that could come into your mind. But then at the end of the day, like you hear God saying, "Hey man, keep pushing. I ain't bring you this." Like God would not have brought you that far just for you to be like, we're just gonna keep you as a walk-on for 4 years, bro. That's not about to happen. And you probably looked around the locker room, like the dude said, we don't have any walk-ons here that look like you. And I think that coaching staff honestly was afraid, like, okay, like he want to walk on, but we might actually have to pay him some money after a little bit because he looked like he actually knows what he can do. Like they weren't trying to come out of their recruiting class to give you a little something. So like, you just know, and you know, like I said, they're not there anymore. That is what it is. It happens. God don't like ugly, and you know. Those are the results. You're the last man. You're the last man standing in Champaign. So just talk to us a little bit about your daughter, like how that came about. Like obviously, but how that process. Not how it came about. but what that process was like for you, just going through all of that, and some of the doubts you had, and how did she encourage you some days? Just talk to us a little bit.
Definitely. So you had your doubts, so you know what I mean? When you find out you about to have a child, you had those people, like, I literally had people telling me, like, yeah, bro, you're going to have to stop playing college football. And I'm like, no, I'm still keep playing. Like, I'm chasing this dream, you know what I mean? And they're like, this dream, like, you ain't got nothing from it. You've been playing 3 years, you ain't got nothing from it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that stuff, like, unconsciously, like, you could say, hey, they don't mess with me. I don't care who you are, bro. That unconsciously does. You know what I'm saying? That in the back of your mind, those thoughts still talk to you. You know what I mean? But I really, from the day we found out we were gonna have her, I was like, look, my parents always taught me to chase my dreams, but they never showed me. Like they did to a certain extent, but they also allowed us to be the reasons they didn't all the way. And I don't ever want my daughter to feel that way. So no matter what my circumstances, I'm gonna go after it until I can't no more. You know what I mean? Because I don't only want her to hear me say it, I don't want her to see it. Like, see what chasing your dreams looks like. Show you that this is hard. Like, if you really want to chase your dreams, it's gonna be hard, but it's definitely gonna be worth it at the same time. Because when you get where you're trying to go, or even the whole process of going through it, like, you're gonna grow so much, you're gonna learn so much, you're gonna meet so many genuine people that, like, impact your life, that it's just there's nothing like it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that is what I always, like, brought myself back to when I start having those doubts. Like, some people they'll look at their child and be like, man, like, I'm failing them. Like, I looked at her and I'm like, no, like, I'm doing this for you, because if I quit now, then I'm showing you it's okay to quit in your dreams, and I can't do that, you know. So it was like, even when I had those doubts, I was like, man, I'm going to transfer. Those were also the thoughts I was having. Like, God was like, no, I gave you this child, and you have a mission. You know what I mean? You got to teach her something, and you quitting and transferring is not going to teach her nothing. So, or teach her nothing good. So that was kind of what kept me focused on those days where I felt like that. Make sure I still got up, and when we had workouts at 6, get up at 4, get up there 4:30 to start my warm up process and eating, and you know what I mean, all types of stuff, bro. Like, just staying committed to the journey. You know, that was my thought process through.
You said something really important right there too. Like, you talked about that you said it was a mission. Like, people were probably telling you at that time, you got to give up that dream, stop chasing this dream. Like, bro, nah. As far as you had made it at that point, that wasn't a dream. That was a purpose. Like, there was no giving up. You weren't chasing nothing. You were walking in God's purpose at that time. You were living in His purpose at that time. There wasn't any turning back, walking out. It's like, nah, we here. We about to see this thing through. Like, that's, yeah, like I said, man, you're the one for real. Like,
yeah, I'm speechless, bro. Like, I don't even know what to like say, bro. It just,
and like, we sit on here and talk. Like, you probably see, like, our episodes be running like hours and 10 minutes. Like, there's I guess we could take this to a lighter side. Like, we have some fun on here. Like, bro, like, what do you do outside of football at Illinois? I know they treat y'all good up there. Like, I'm sure you probably got a little taste when you was a walk-on, but like, as a scholarship guy, the gear really feel free. Like, you really feel like free gear when you're on scholarship. Like, you feel like you're stealing a little bit from Nike. Like, you really feel good when that scholarship hit.
I'm stealing. I feel like we earned this. Pay me that money.
Hey, oh God,
bro, I really just be chilling. Like since I got to college, like I've been focused. So it's like, yeah, you had your fun, but I really ain't never been a party type. I've been more the, what I'm saying, like make them genuine connections. Like go kick it with your homeboy. Like what I'm saying. That's been me. Go like I remember when I first got here, there's this big dorm that had like a movie room, and we all go up there. Like all my other boys be out partying, we all be up in there like watching movies and stuff. Like what I'm saying, building those like lifelong connections. That's what I've been doing. So really I just be working out, kicking it with my boy. My cousin moved up here now, so chilling with him. Trying to get involved in the community. So I just ran a free camp this Saturday when it was. We had 200 kids out there, and it was the feedback from the parents. They were like, "Yo, like this hasn't happened in so long. Like where the university's done something for the community, let alone like a player setting something up for the community." So I'm trying to get more involved in the community as well, especially since like COVID.
NIL.
What's up?
NIL. Community gonna know me, baby.
Oh yeah.
Honestly though, it's just I feel like there's so many people since I've been here that gave back to me. They didn't know. Like when I was at those camp practices, there was literally people. I'd be talking to some of the fans out there, and they're like, "Oh, like you moved from where? You don't have no family out here? Cool, but hey, come to the crib tonight at 6 p.m. I got some dinner for you." Like, bro, like that's the kind of love like since I've been up here just from the community I got, and just like people take care of me. Like my car broke down on the side of the road, and this man took me to his house, helped me like get the car back where it was running, and then was like, "All right, look, if you need any help, just give me a call." They had me and my pregnant girlfriend in his house just sitting there while we out there, me and him out there, trying to fix the car. So like just so many people in the community that showed me love, bro. I'm like, for me, it's a no-brainer to get back to the community, especially with kids. Like that's something when I was in South Carolina, I always worked with kids, so it's like easy. You know what I mean? They pour so much into me. I just want to give back to help make a difference. You know what I mean? So I'm actually working on getting some backpacks and filled with school supplies. Hopefully, I can get 200 of them so I can take them to the Boys and Girls Club up here. And then there's a program called the Leonard Center that got about 60 kids, and just take it to some of them programs that got kids that just don't have as much. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
sure. Hey, you still looking for your first game action too, aren't you? What's that moment gonna be like when you finally get in between the white?
We're gonna have to see it August 28th.
Hell yeah.
Hey, look, Skig, I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. I'm gonna need you to get a new face mask or something, or throw a visor in this. Skig, can you see this? I don't know if you can see this on my screen, but you might have to just go to his IG. But he's got.
Come on.
I'm gonna need you to throw a visor in that thing or something, my brother.
Yeah, you need a visor on that, cuz. Yeah,
we can't do this.
I hate wearing visors, yo.
Well, you gotta get a new face mask.
With that face mask, you gotta wear a visor.
It's mandatory,
yeah,
bro.
It's mandatory.
Unless you got here, Alexander, it's mandatory, bro. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's that Braxton Miller right there.
Yeah, that's a violation. That's a violation. We can't go for that around. I can't.
And really, Jair be wearing a visor unless it's raining. So really, you got to, folks.
And he got the eye black something like. You can't. That's naked. Like that's just straight naked right there.
Hey, look! I want you to see my face on after I just destroyed you. I want you to know who did it.
No, man.
No,
they go like that. No eye black, no nothing. Look at my face. So I want you to want to fight me after the game.
They want to fight you when they see that with that drip. They like, nah. They like, there's no way he finna cover me, bro. Like they attributes went +10. They attributes go +10 when they see your face mask. They're like,
they gonna get confidence out there.
Route running +11, releases +14. Like, we can't do that. Sleeve. I need to get a sleeve, something.
Hey, we supposed to be getting your teammate on here. We were supposed to have him on that week of 4th of July. But I mean, Rod, he supposed to be
Rod
coming
Perry.
on. Yeah, I played with Rod. I went to state, then I transferred from state, so that's how I know Rod. We played together at state.
Okay, no, I didn't know that. Yeah, you got
man.
Rod funny.
That's a character, bro. That's a
He's
character
so
right there.
That's my boy, though.
See, you can't be telling people who our next guest are, man. We just tapped into the Illini pipeline.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna connect, bro. So,
if we're gonna keep posting,
we gotta get on and stop playing with you, Skid.
Oh yeah.
Tell him not go Hollywood on us, man.
That man, yeah, he a character. And then he got a job too while he up there. I don't know why
he work at Jimmy Jazz.
Yeah, man. That dude, man, when he was at state, he cooked, he did security, and he did like a little car detailing business. He rode around with the like fluid on the back of his truck, mobile detailing. I swear to God. Bro.
I can believe it though.
Rod is a different breed, bro.
Yeah. Bro, he do everything.
Yeah, he fixed cars. Man, my car broke down one day. I called Rod straight off rip. He said, "Yeah, this is what you're gonna need. This, and this." Took me to AutoZone, picked it up, came back. I was like, "Man, Rod, I don't know what I would have did if you weren't here."
That's my boy though.
Yeah, he's solid, bro.
Very resourceful. Like that's that country boy stuff though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now for real, when you start making plays, I ain't gonna retweet you if you ain't got a little visor or something. People just got to know how.
Black on. I'm gonna put
something,
man. It don't even gotta be too much. You know what I'm saying? Just even if you hit the little DK Metcalf, the little scar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me know you tried. Like, you just come out there like is that you literally just put on the jersey that day. Like, bro, come on, you don't care. You must not care about what's going on here. Like, I know some people just play like that's cool and all, but like, don't. You're not supposed to be that guy. Like, don't do that.
Look.
That's why I hate the Bucks.
I got
they don't have no swag.
Drip, you know what I mean?
Oh, you got some yats on you now? Okay.
You know I got it on. So you might see the sleeve pop up, take a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, okay. That 32 hard though. Are you gonna keep that number?
Bro, I was thinking about changing it. I was like, nah, but this number done grown on me, man. Like
32 tough.
Me and 32 done been through some stuff together. Like I had a Rocky.
Well, you playing corner or safety though?
I play DB, bro.
If you play corner, I'm gonna say that 32 might be the question.
Got me at corner safety and nickel. So.
Okay. So you keep the 32 on. You keep 32. A little Tyrann Matthew action. Okay. We might rock with you then on the retweets this season. Then. We might have to. I mean, some of our guests they fresh now. DK, fresh.
Yeah.
Troy Pride, fresh. I mean, we got some guys.
Even our baseball player be fresh, man.
Super drips. I mean,
like OD.
Like that's your God right there. I mean, you got to come with.
I might wear the visor for the first game. Just
okay.
Retweet it.
Okay.
Hey, you know what we need to do, JB? We need to get some on-campus football merch and send it to like all our guests, like a headband, something.
Or a little cutoff shirt y'all can wear to the jersey in pregame. Yeah, something like that. Y'all are part of a fraternity for real.
Yeah, facts.
I actually got someone that can make shirts for. I might thought that might be the move.
I can make shirts. I do this.
Bro, yeah. You gotta,
shout your business out.
Yeah, shout you out, man. Go do that.
I mean, rise in silence every day. You know what I mean? That's the mantra.
Man,
actually, I'm working on an ad right now. Just got with a videographer, so I'll definitely post that soon. You know, be on the lookout for that. And then it's gonna go worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So.
Hey, if you really want to make some on-campus T-shirts or something, we can get you in touch with our CEO for real.
Yeah, for sure.
Because our athletes, like y'all, really a part of a fraternity like this on campus. We got some lit guests though. So
I'm ready knowing, bro. Just because I don't be talking to you all the time, don't mean I don't be peeping, bro.
Man, I know people be peeping because like people be seeing me around town, like, oh, I see that you're doing blah blah, but I ain't see you getting no retweets or no likes, but that's cool. I see you see what we doing over here, so it's cool. We'll keep doing the thing. We see who support, and we know who support too, though.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, I always love, bro. I just reactivated my Twitter. I had deactivated it for like 4 months. I just made a new one.
It's time to build that brand. These are the days. You gotta get on that.
Yeah, that's why I had to get one back, bro, because I had one before and then following too many people and it would be nonsense on my thing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all tripping. Some of the
follow Skig, man.
Yeah.
Now my Twitter be wild. But hey, back to what you said, I want to give a quick shout out to my homeboy, man, because you talked about how people be tapping in, man. One of my LBs, shout out Treasy, bro. That man tap in every episode, man. He give feedback on every episode. That's real love. Shout out to bro. That's all.
Shout out Treasy. I be seeing you on Twitter talking back and forth with Skig. I don't know why you be arguing with him, bro. Just let him go. Just leave it. Save yourself a couple tweets. Sometimes I just see Skig tweet, I just go, I'm gonna let him go.
A lot of the time, I tweet the troll though. So
I know. I'm like, I'm sitting like somebody like this, bro.
Yes, bro.
And people really be like, man.
Yeah, people like for real get mad, and I'll go back and forth all day just to make them even more mad.
Man, you cannot be worse than my old roommate, bro. He used to have me so weak, but he say some super problematic stuff on Twitter just to get around. Like he the type of dude that will post like, "Hey, R. Kelly didn't do it." Like,
I ain't that wild. I ain't that wild.
You know, that's different. You don't even believe that. You know what I'm saying?
That's different.
Yeah, I ain't even that wild.
Different. He do it just to make people mad because he knew, like, oh, they about to go crazy. They about to be 1,000 comments on my drawing. Like,
just to be viral. Man, this is the best story we've had on here. Like
easily,
like the best story we've had. I can't wait for people to hear this, man. This is going. This is a great. A lot of night football. When y'all hear this episode, y'all better retweet it out because I think that y'all need to know like who your players are. Like this one of the reasons why we started on campus. Like we don't really like how the media covers players sometimes, and then sometimes they only cover people when there's something problematic. And then at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, they cover people who are the stars of the team. But you never know. Like the 53rd man or your practice squad player might be the biggest personality on the roster, but nobody would know because no one ever wants to go over to that corner in the locker room and talk to him. People probably never knew about your story. Nobody wants to go talk to the walk-on. But those dudes really be having some stories, man. They're the ones who really are going through the lifestyle of college football without getting any of the glamour at the end of the day. Yep. Like you might get the gear, but then people are dudes. You know how dudes treat you when you walk on. We all seen it before. So, man, we really appreciate having you, man. Best of luck to you. God bless you. I love you. I'm proud of you for sure, man. Like this.
Appreciate that.
It's been awesome just watching your journey, man. And you know, I'm ready to see you finally get out there and ball. Like if you're better than the player I saw that came out to East Riverside Park a few years ago, which I know you are, man. I know it's about to be straps. I know it, especially in the Big Ten. Some of them receivers are brutal. But I know it's about to be straps, man. Skig, any last words?
Man, you already know what I gotta say. Appreciate you coming on this way, man. Peace and love, everybody. Y'all be safe.
I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.